Failure as the pathway to success. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein or cup of Vegemite coffee, and I'd like to talk about the value of failure. Now, we've been looking at article after article from the ABC, where they trot out one victim, or trot out, not trout, maybe go fishing, where they trot out one victim after another, who's just at wit's end, who's been taken advantage of by the payday lenders, or who's been taken advantage of by the banks, or who's been taken advantage of by such and such, or whose rent is going up. Someone who might actually have to, sacrifice or suffer through failure. Now, I've failed in life. I remember when I was at university, there was in architecture, you have several presentations. You put a presentation up at the middle of the semester because we work in projects and you have to present and sell your idea. And then you've got a final one, and that's what you work all towards. And it's very stressful. Takes a lot of time, and that's where the culture of working through the nights is established. Probably a bad thing, actually, with regards to taking that into the workplace. But I remember once in, I think, third year, I'd presented a design, and this semester I just hadn't kept on top of anything. I went on a field trip, and all through university I was working while I was studying, so I was 4 days in an office and 1 day at uni, and I just hadn't really managed my time well enough. So I presented this final design. I tried quite hardly to cobble something together, and I did terrible. I essentially failed the subject. But of course, you still get another week to make changes to your project, to your design. Often in the past, I would be so exhausted. Like, I think one time I got a credit, and I go, you know what? I'm happy with that. Or distinction, and go, you know what? I'm going camping. I've had enough. You get an HD, fantastic. Even better, you get that holiday. Or if you're in trouble, that lets you take that feedback on board, because that's architecture. It's not there's no 100% answer. It's an iterative design process. It's back and forth. And I worked really hard. I remember when I presented it that week later, I told the lecturer, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to go down fighting. And I got through. I didn't do too badly. I managed to pull it together. But it was a valuable lesson. And it's something that people need to go through, I would assume. And I'd assume everyone has gone through some failure. Well, that's what I thought. And from there, I really pulled my act together. Really, it was more about learning how to manage time. That's the challenge when you work full-time and study full-time. We were flexible full-time with how our study was. And it was a bit hard to get the hang of it. Quite honestly, because you're 4 days in office, you're doing overtime at work, and then you're also having to do your study. For me, it finally dawned on me to get up really early and not party as much. But those are things we need to learn. Now, I'm trying to instill those values into my children. That failure isn't the worst thing. One issue Mina had, our eldest, was that she was a perfectionist. She was frustrated whenever she didn't get anything instantly. And last year, we were doing our distance ed, homeschooling, and it started to get quite frustrating at the end of the year. Her behavior just wasn't there. We were arguing over getting her to do work. She was getting annoyed and angry and didn't want to do it. And we told her, if you can't pull your act together and learn to work independently, we're sending you to a normal school, to a day school. At the very least, you need to get a taste of it, because she hasn't experienced it. She's only gone through the distance ed school that we're at. And it actually has a lot of advantages. I went and did it with Frederick, because he's still in the school. He's in prep. We went and did a course where we built a 3D printer. And now, as kids are, they all do that volcano experiment. So we're going to 3D print some different volcanoes. I got to get the data. I think we'll start with Tana Island, so we can test the experiment. The baking soda vinegar volcano experiment. Kids love that. So, and the example I wanted to bring up was that Mina's at this day school, and she's getting a bit frustrated. She's met all the kids, the ones that are the cliques that you have at school. That's just part of dealing with it. Like one child actually threatened to kill her and bullied her because of what she ate, because she was eating meat. And the school handled that quite well, to be quite honest, with how they dealt with that. I thought it was just quite funny that that's what bullying is now. The vegans are the most angry at 8-year-old girls tearing into each other. I mean, what can we say, guys? It's a nutrient deficiency. That's why they're also angry. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. The example I wanted to bring forward is that she was doing some spelling tests. You know, every week you've got to do these tests. And spelling is, if you've watched my channel and seen my thumbnails, is not exactly my strongest skill, particularly considering English is my second language, and nor is it my wife's strongest skill. And Mina did very badly at a test. She did quite badly. She got 1 out of 10. And she didn't tell me about that. I didn't realize that until she was sitting at home, because now she has homework to do. It's not very much. One thing that's interesting on another topic is how much screen time she's getting. But she was sitting there writing and practicing to get better at her spelling test. Doing it all by herself. And I said, why are you doing that? And she said, I need to get better. I did very badly at my last test. I don't want to do that badly again. And now she did another one. She got 10 out of 10 at her last test. She was quite happy. But the valuable lesson there that she's gotten at a young age is failure. Failing at something. And then taking the initiative completely by herself to work hard and improve those skills. Now, I assume that's something that everyone has encountered in their life. At least the characters that they're putting forward in all these articles. People who are adults. People who get to vote and swing seats in elections. But maybe they haven't. Maybe they haven't failed. Or maybe they've never succeeded. Maybe their life has just been a constant string of disappointments. Or maybe they've constantly had a path without any challenges. And then just the slightest one throws them into complete disarray. And they can't adapt or deal with it. Or maybe life has been handed to them on a reasonably easy platter. And they've just gone along for the ride and not accepted any challenges. Maybe the idea of making sacrifices now and working hard for something is so foreign to our consciousness here in Australia, to the culture here in Australia, that we're drifting more and more down this socialist path, down this leftist path, down this blaming of others. And people are saying in the comments, Florian, you're losing the plot, you're too elitist. Perhaps. Or perhaps it's just my sense of disgust at people who aren't willing to take agency and try and better themselves is maybe a little bit higher than others. Or maybe it's not. So what do you think about this one, everyone? Have you encountered failure in your life? And has it been a stepping stone to better things? Was it a lesson you learned when you were young that has helped you further along in your life? That got you to improve? That made you realize you need to work hard for something? Persistence and hard work really is the secret to doing well. All the courses and bullshit that people will sell you, it really boils down to that. Just sticking to something and working hard and doing it over and over again. That can overcome a lot of the inherent natural advantages that other people have. And it's really one of the few things that you can control. Everything else is beyond your control. You can try and influence things. You can try and adjust what's going on around you. But really, your persistence and hard work is the only thing that's there. So I thought I'd talk about this, because I'd like to get really a sense from the audience of this channel. If you think Australians are losing our way, if we have had it too good. Remember, we've only had a first recession in 28 years. Could there be people, and I bet you there are, that have never experienced hard time, that have never experienced failure, that have never learnt those valuable lessons that we all need to learn on the path to growing to become a responsible adult? Maybe that's why they can find so many of these people to trot out. The perpetual victims. that don't want to take charge and agency of their own lives? Do we blame the education system? Do we blame the media? Is it social media? Or is it just part of a generation growing up? Maybe bad parenting. What do you reckon? Everyone gets an award. Every school kid gets a ribbon for participation. Is that what it is? Everyone thinks they're important. Everyone thinks they're special. So no one's had to realize failure and learn from it. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one, because I think it's fundamental to the psyche of us as a people here in Australia. Are we no longer willing to accept failure? I mean, look at our economy. Look at what our government is doing to protect the people from their own hubris, from extending too far, from borrowing too much. They're throwing everything at the housing market. They want to keep the economy going. Maybe we need some creative destruction in the economy so people can, well, improve. Let me know your take on this one. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Please let us know your failures in the comments and how they helped you maybe turn a new leaf or work a bit harder. As always, take care, guys, and have a great day.